And we are live.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Run and Gun Podcast. I'm Jay Peeps.
I'm JC.
And tonight we got Miss Allison Posey joining us from up in Tallahassee. How you doing tonight, Allison?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me again. I had a lot of fun last time I was on, so I can't wait to get round 2 going.
Honestly, I'm excited too. I'm excited. This is my escape away from midterm exams for our doctorate program. So I'm excited for this.
Yes, escape from real life for a minute.
No, I'm coming after you tonight, Allison. I'm ready for you.
I got you. I got all my notes ready. I'm ready to own you. Own you.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Wow. You are no chippy, huh?
All right.
Oh man.
She called you out.
Right?
Boy, I gotta go now.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP. This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash. This is Jimi Hendrix.
And you're listening to
You're listening to
the Run and Gun Podcast.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet you have a good one.
Yep. So what's going on? What's going on? So we back. So quarter one. We starting off with the Super Bowl. I got to start off with it. I will say this, if my Wi-Fi connection wasn't so bad in my apartment right now, I would have my creamsicle flag next to my more modern day pewter and red flag right now, just talking trash.
Throwing it back.
Of course, you got to. I hope we see those uniforms next year, to be honest with you. But
I was reading something today where they didn't have like the super new uniforms on the other night, and they said that's the reason why they won the game, because they didn't have the ugly rebranded uniforms.
Yeah, you know what? You were not the first person to say that. But honestly, those uniforms, they grew on me. They were okay, but they weren't like what makes the Bucks the Bucks. Like, you would have expected something more pirate-like versus a long.
I'm a traditionalist. Oh, throw it way back. Yeah. Listen, I'm a traditionalist anyways. I love old school. Like, Alabama hasn't changed anything, and they're doing all right. So I'm a super big traditionalist. If you want to throw in a new look every once in a while, that's cool, but why change things, man? I like the old school look. Yeah, I love the old school look. I like the way it looks, and I mean, they won it. They look good, and hey, we're celebrating in Tampa.
They were more than celebrating.
I said, y'all are in the thick of it. So.
Oh, I'm out of it. I am like on the opposite. I'm on the Space Coast right now because I've moved.
I'm 2 hours down from it.
But y'all are closer than we are. I mean, y'all are closer than I am here in Tallahassee. I mean, it's been pretty neat looking at all the video today. I know y'all saw Tom Brady chucking the Lombardi Trophy over to Gronk.
That actually made me
my heart dropped.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My heart.
From one boat to another.
Yeah.
From one boat.
My heart dropped for a minute. I was like, oh gosh. And then when I saw what he looked like, what Tom Brady looked like after he got off the boat, it's even more of a miracle that pass even happened, because he was feeling pretty good.
It was crazy because I was thinking to myself, I was like, and JC knows this too. I was like, Lord, don't let this trophy land in that nasty Hillsborough River. because I don't know what's going to happen to that Tiffany Silver.
It would instantly disintegrate. It would corrode automatically.
Probably because Lord knows what's in there, and the stories I've heard of what's in there. I wouldn't want to take a swim in there. Trust me. But my first question is this tonight: how are we feeling about the fact of the free agents coming back? Because I went back and looked at it. They got $38 million in cap. And after the parade today, I don't know if y'all saw it, but everyone's confident that the majority of those free agents are coming back.
Well, Mike Evans said too, though, that he was willing to take a salary cut to get everybody to stay. I mean, it's almost reminiscent of what LeBron did when he was with the Heat. You take that pay cut, you keep the family together, you keep the good times you had going, you keep that core base, and if you want to add somebody, if the cap space is there, you add them. But the fact that they're willing to sacrifice says a lot about this team.
Exactly.
I mean, I still like it. They have $28 million in cap space, but that's still a lot of guys that you have to sign back, important pieces. I mean, I guess if everybody takes a pay cut, but not everyone's gonna take a pay cut.
Because I feel like here's what's gonna happen is like the one thing that's gonna happen is I don't think Ndamukong Suh comes back because I think Ndamukong Suh was on a 1-year deal. The other thing I think is Mike Evans is gonna take his pay cut. That rumor of Levante David wanting to be the highest paid middle linebacker in the league it turned out to be false. He even said that was true. Chris Godwin, you can franchise tag him and take care of that. Shaq Barrett already said he wants to be back. We'll see what happens there. I can see Gronk coming back, and I can see AB coming back. But also, Adrian Peterson said he wants to come to Tampa, but I don't know how.
Who?
I don't know how realistic that is. Yep, Adrian Peterson said
The land of second chances.
You know what's crazy? Tampa used to be a place where careers went to die, but now it's a land of second chances.
Now it's where dying careers go to live.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Listen, LaShawn McCoy, back-to-back Super Bowl champion, and he didn't even play.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, I feel like we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because you have to think about the future and you have to think about what's next. These guys literally just stepped off the boat. All of them are still enjoying the Super Bowl win, if we're being honest here. Let a week go by, and then we can start talking about salary, who's staying, who's going to take a cut, who wants more. I think things will work themselves out because, again, I think people want money, especially NFL players, and rightfully so. They work hard, their bodies take a beating.
Yep.
But when you realize you got a good thing, I think your brain opens up a little bit, and you're like, you know what? If we could keep this group together, look what we could do next year too. Remember how good that felt celebrating that Super Bowl win? Let's do it again in a year.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the factor of Tom Brady being in town, because they're even talking about restructuring Tom Brady's deal. Some told me he wasn't just going to be for 2 years. They're talking about restructuring him and making him be around longer. You know, he wants to play till he's 50.
He's already 50.
He's already 50. This is the thing, and I'll say this about Tom Brady. I'm a Saints fan, so it's in my heart. I can't root for the Bucs, and I can't root for Tom Brady because he knocked the Saints out of the playoffs this year. But I think he proved to a lot of people that said, oh, the Pats are only successful, Tom Brady is only successful because of Bill Belichick. I think Tom Brady proved a lot of people wrong with that, and I have to give credit where credit is due. He went down to Tampa. He showed people that he can win without Belichick, and I think the proof is in the pudding. Look what happened with the Patriots this year. Just saying.
You're gonna learn today.
It's true. It's true.
JC's got something on his brain. What are you trying to say?
I feel like he's been holding a lot in.
You know,
well, he's making fun of me because he's got his little headband on. So I know he's already got something to say because he put the headband on. So I'm waiting for it.
I'm standing in solidarity with my man Patrick Mahomes because I am under fire tonight, obviously. But you know what? Listen, I won't go as far as to say that the Brady and Belichick thing, because it's not like he hopped into Tampa and Tampa was like the least talented team in the
Oh no, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Right.
I mean, goodness, it's hard not to win with the team that the Bucks had. So
it is. But you have to think too. You're also he was with the Patriots for a very long time, with a lot of the same guys for a very long time, and you build that connection. Yeah, he had a Gronk, but other than that, you have to build chemistry with a team. For a while, this Bucks team, they were 2 games over 500. What was it, week 14? They turned it on late, and they got it to click, and they got everything to move together. But I think that's a testament to his veteran leadership, knowing what he's doing and making things happen.
And I will say, hold up, wait, who is it?
Question.
Answer.
Could Jameis have won with this team?
No. They wouldn't have won the Super Bowl.
No, I don't think so. I have to get, and I have nothing against Jameis, but I think there's a lot to say about veteran leadership. Tom knows how to win. He's been in the big game before. He knows how to get it done, and he got it done. There's no question about it. He got those guys to rally around him, and he did have a lot more weapons than Jameis did. That is undeniable. But he was able to go down there and take that leadership and turn it into something big.
I agree. Because I mean,
I can agree with that.
It's what NFL Network was saying today before we transition here. You know, like you had the situation where a lot of guys like your reputation in the league speaks for itself. If you're constantly doing the right things like Tom Brady's doing, and it shows on Sunday, guys will follow and buy into that. And it's the same thing with a lot of things in life. If you're doing like what Jameis was doing, which his heart was in it, but mentally it was not there. It's hard for guys to buy into that. Look, I love. They'll be like, "Look,
You're lucky I can't throw a challenge flag because I would challenge you on that one." But proceed.
I agree. I will agree with you there, because this is the thing. You said people buying in. Jameis is a leader, and there is no denying that. Anybody that's ever played with him will tell you he's a leader. But it's a lot easier to believe in somebody when the wins are coming. And Tom Brady made the wins come. It's a lot easier to buy in.
It's the truth. And this is coming from someone that was a huge Jameis supporter that will tell you, I felt Jameis should have stayed and been his backup.
Absolutely. I agree. I love Jameis, and I wish him nothing but the best. And I am glad that he ended up with the Saints to learn under Drew Brees. He needed to be with a veteran quarterback to kind of get any quarterback, a lot of quarterbacks that have success at the NFL level kind of have a tutor for their first couple seasons to kind of get that, how to handle yourself, how to conduct yourself on game day, how to conduct yourself in the locker room, and being around a veteran quarterback, I think will benefit him in the future.
Yep. But, you know, as we transition now to the NCAA, there's that line at the bottom of the screen. Gonzaga looks like the hottest team for the NCAA tournament. And also, you know who's right behind them as the other undefeated. It's Baylor.
Oh, I thought you were going to say FAMU.
No, although they had a very big win last night.
They had 2 big wins, back-to-back big wins at home. It was the MEACs. They're doing double headers, so they beat Central Monday night and they beat Central last night.
Nice. I thought I saw one of those on TV.
ESPN2 was Monday night. FAMU was on ESPN2 Monday night.
Okay. See, I want to watch these basketball games so bad, but given my circumstances with midterm week, it ain't happening.
Yeah. School over everything right now. I'll tell you this about the NCAA. I don't know how I feel, because I'm in a situation where I cover Florida State for a living, you know, along with FAMU and everything, but I cover Florida State for a living, and Florida State is now on their second quarantine. They've missed a total of 6 games so far, and those are just the quarantine games they've missed. So it's really hard, especially this point in the year when you have a month left to go until things get real. It's very hard to get better when you're not playing, because you can practice all you want. There is nothing like game speed, conditioning in a game. Central the other night had a kid that was sick after the game because Central hadn't played in like 40 days when they played FAMU, and he was physically sick because there is nothing like game speed. So that's my concern with the NCAA tournament, and I know they're going to do it in a bubble type atmosphere, but I don't know how I feel about, oh, this team is the best, this team isn't the best, because as we know, things change daily. And some of these teams that are not playing right now, I'm really concerned about them as we kind of carry over into the NCAA tournament.
I agree. Yeah. I think that might kind of lead to why, and I spoke with them about this Monday night, but I pointed out something interesting. That Drake was undefeated, but they were ranked 25th in the country. I think Florida State was, like 18th? I know
the one from Toronto?
Drake's a team all by himself, out on the floor.
Watch me! Hit the Lord have mercy one just for yesterday.
Lord have mercy.
Rankings too. It's I think last time I was on, we talked about rankings with college football. I think rankings have to be taken with a grain of salt because, again, like I know Houston was a team that we had brought up. What are they, 16-2? When you play in the AAC, who are you playing day in and day out? You're playing the same teams over and over and over again. So if the competition is not there, your record is going to be a little inflated. So I feel like some of these teams that are at the top in a real year, maybe they would be that good. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. This NCAA tournament, it's a crapshoot to me because these teams that look really good, they might get in and play somebody and not look that great. Although North Carolina and Duke are pretty much bubble teams right now, which is wild to say. So that's what I'm saying. This NCAA tournament, if this is the year that some Cinderella team is going to win, this might be the year because I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, some team could get COVID in the NCAA bubble. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. We're just going to have to wait and see.
That basically tells me to not fill out a bracket this year.
This might be the year to fill out a bracket because it's really just flip a coin. That's honestly how I feel this tournament could go. I don't know. I mean, I feel a little more confident again with the teams that are playing right now, even if they're playing in a weaker conference, because at least you're getting those game reps. Teams that are on quarantine right now or haven't been able to play as much, those are the teams I feel for. Because this is the time of year when you really want to be hitting your stride, when you really want to be kind of ironing out those bugs that you're working on. And if you're not playing, how do you get better? You can work on it in practice, but there's nothing like game speed. There's nothing like game reps.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Question?
HBCUs were well represented in the Super Bowl.
Tis true. I was very impressed with that. You had you know what? It was crazy. I didn't know Todd Bowles was the defensive coordinator at Grambling back in like his heyday. I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean that's neat, and I know too. We had talked about the recruits, the 5-star recruits. I feel like that's at this point it's such an old. We all know stars mean nothing. So there was one 5-star recruit that played in the Super Bowl. Stars mean two.
There was like 2 or 3. Like I think.
Here we go, right here, scrolling. Only one 5-star recruit played in the Super Bowl. Stars don't mean anything. They don't mean anything. So
you're a star.
For all these people that are concerned about, if I go to an HBCU, I won't get seen. I'm going to tell you something. If you go and you ball out, you're going to get seen. Tariq Cohen is the perfect example of that. You go, you ball out, you have a good college career, people will come. People will come. So the whole star argument, and if I go to school A and school B is as big, you go and you take care of business, you're going to be fine.
I
Even
agree.
the devil's advocate add to that. No matter what you do, they're gonna find you too.
There you go.
Yeah.
If Hannibal Lecter ran a 4.0, I'm just saying, he's not on devil's spot. That's all I'm gonna say right there.
But I don't know what the whistle means.
2-minute
What does the
warning.
whistle mean? Oh, okay,
warning.
got you. See, this is the thing too. So you talk about the NFL draft. This kid, the quarterback from North Dakota State, FCS school, the Trey Lance kid. They're talking about him being a super high pick. But that's what I'm saying. He had no Power 5 offers out of high school. This kid had nothing. And he goes to an FCS program. Granted, an FCS program that is really, really good. But you go and you take care of business, and you're going to be seen. If you're good, they will find you. You will be fine. And he's another example of a guy. Or how many people in the NFL, that go. I was talking about Drew Brees earlier. Drew Brees was not a highly touted draft pick. I mean, he just kind of went to Purdue and then went to the NFL, and now look at him. So you go and you're talented and you take care of business, good things will happen.
Yep.
Yeah, to add on to your point, even previously, Carson Wentz, I believe, went to an FCS school, right?
Exactly. Carson Wentz went to North Dakota State as well.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't stand when people are like, oh, if I don't go to this big time school with, 20 draft picks every year, I'm never going to get seen. That's not true. You go and you do your thing and you're going to be fine.
Exactly.
And even if you go to those programs, you might never get seen because you might not get off the bench.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Have you heard of Delaware before Joe Flacco?
Well, that's the other thing too.
I don't think he's a great example.
But again, it goes to the point where if you go to an Alabama, you have the better resources. That's undeniable. I mean, if you go to a school, Clemson, with high dollar boosters, there's going to be more things accessible for you. But if you are a top level talent and you do top level talent things, scouts notice that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Fourth quarter, third quarter.
That brings us now to the third quarter, where an interesting trade happened in the NBA. So Derrick Rose, I don't even know, I guess in the midnight hour, got traded to the New York Knicks from the Detroit Pistons. He basically went from one outhouse to another outhouse. I don't even know what to make of this. If I'm Derrick Rose, I don't even know how you even get excited about it.
Well, listen, if I'm Derrick Rose, when that trade went down in the midnight when that trade went down in the midnight hour, I would have been burning the midnight oil and punching my fist in the air because ain't no way you just sent me to New York. But it might work out.
Tom Thibodeau's there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's reunited with he's reunited, which he arguably had his biggest success under him. So you reconnect that maybe. I mean, let's be real. Derrick Rose, he still produces numbers, but he's kind of on the downward trend. So you go somewhere where you can be a good 6-man, do a job that you need to do where you don't really have to go out and put up the superstar numbers. That might be a good fit for him. I guess a good outhouse, if we're using the one outhouse to another outhouse analogy, which is so mean, but it is what it is.
Well, it came from a man in a headband.
I'm waiting for his response. He's sitting here making fun of me, and I'm waiting for his response.
And he's still quiet. It's like,
wait, that wasn't even me.
He's never this quiet.
What did I do?
Never this quiet.
Oh my goodness.
It's true. He really isn't.
All I'm gonna say is, listen.
Well, if you're gonna say it, speaking to the mic.
Ooh. You're getting it from all corners today, my man. All corners.
I'm telling you, I feel just like Patrick Mahomes, man. I'm all under fire. My offensive line ain't working. I'm running for my life here. I'm running for my life here.
Wow.
And, but listen, you can go ahead and be a good fit in New York with the Knicks, but that does not get you to your ultimate goal of trying to get a ring.
Watch me!
I do not care how great of a fit he is. They will not be out of that outhouse status for a while until something gives.
You're gonna learn today.
But here's the thing with the NBA, and I was having a conversation with somebody about this the other night. When you look at the NBA, there's very little parity. There's like 5 teams that you know are going to be contenders every year. Unless you're traded to one of those teams or you play for one of those teams, you theoretically don't really have a shot to win. The NBA is there's not a whole lot of parity in the league. So unless you end up on one of those teams, if you're a superstar, you can kind of pick where you want to go. You can say, okay, the Lakers, they're good. Let's go to the Lakers. But if you're a guy not really on that superstar level, you better hope you end up on that team, because there's not a whole lot of competition, I guess is the word I'm looking for. There's really only five contenders every year.
Rank them.
Yeah, you got a point. She's got a point. And honestly, too, one of those competitors, surprisingly, right now, is the Utah Jazz. And I was watching their game last night, and they actually won convincingly, and I was very impressed. Oh, hold up, wait, I think he want to throw a challenge flag. Because he counting his fingers. Hold up.
He's counting. I don't know what he's on 4. I don't know where he's going with this, but I'll wait.
I was counting out the contenders. Does Miami add up somewhere in there? Because I don't believe Miami was one of those teams who was in the 5 always ready.
Yeah, but you saw who they brought in. That's what I'm saying. They weren't, but they brought in the superstars to make it happen. Derrick Rose is not LeBron James. It ain't happening.
All right.
I'm talking about last year. I'm not talking about you.
Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah, I understand. And you can have the anomalies where things happen, but what I'm saying, there are only a few contenders every year that you know are going to make a run, and you either buy your team or you build your team around those superstar guys. The NBA is not anybody's game. It's not.
I'm just saying, eventually outliers do add up. I mean, Milwaukee is another team, but they don't really have the superstars of a Lakers.
Yeah. And I will say this, and I think that the Jazz tie into this as well. This year, and I know I say COVID all the time, but this year is so odd. The lack of the preseason, getting things together, guys having to sit out, maybe having to miss, maybe having to skip games. And this is not just the NBA, and we talked about this with the NCAA tournament too. This is a year that I feel that anything can happen, because of kind of those outlying factors that you don't know. Now, granted, if you have a team with superstars and those superstars stay healthy, you're always going to be that one step ahead. But with this world we're living in now, a guy could test positive, a superstar could test positive, and he could be out for 2 weeks. And you better hope that you have the backup around him that you can continue to play.
I agree with that. His face. He's plotting. He's plotting.
I know. He's waiting. I know. I'm waiting too. Let's go.
You better not mess with Allison. You know why?
I got soul, and I'm super bad.
I remember when you used to play that for me. But you know what?
Used to.
It's cool.
He's just mad he can't. He's just mad he can't pull off the headband look like I can. We're all good here. We're all good.
And I'm super bad.
We're all good.
Watch, JC gonna run up to like the nearest Dick's Sporting Goods or a sporting goods store somewhere and just buy a whole bunch of Nike headbands and just start wearing them every week.
No, just do what you did in high school, JC. When your underwear gets old, just cut them and use the band around your underwear for a headband.
Oh.
Wait, that's what y'all was doing in high school?
I've seen it with the sleeve shirt.
Oh,
Yeah, I had the sleeve of the
You cut the
shirt.
sleeve.
Yeah, I had the sleeve of the shirt. I never knew about that.
Hold on,
I never
now
knew
you
about the
expose
underwear
yourself
ban
now.
either.
Hold on.
Well,
You done exposed yourself now. What was y'all doing in high school?
I
Y'all cutting up
said
your-
what you used to do in high school.
Listen, that idea had to
He
come
did
from
say that.
somewhere.
You did.
All right.
I think that's a conversation for off air. But one fun thing last minute is so the 76ers actually have the best record in the East. I don't know if y'all would classify them as an outlier, but how y'all feeling about, the 76ers chances of coming out of the East this year? Because I feel like the East is going to be anybody. Of those top 5 teams, I feel like the 76ers in the East it's anybody's race. How y'all feel?
JC's got something to say. I'm waiting. Go ahead and say
She
it.
knows I'm waiting on her. Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. I've been first all night long. I've been saying stuff. It is your turn, my friend.
Well, listen, I just want to say that the 76ers, regardless of the record that they have, we've all seen their track record that they always seem to fall apart at the most inopportune times, and I think we're still just waiting on that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I agree with you.
Oh.
They have there's no clutch gene. There's no clutch gene. The clutch gene is lacking. So we're cool right now. I got you.
Is this happiness in my heart?
Wow. It
Yes,
only took
it
3
is.
quarters. Wow.
It is. You're gonna be all right over there. Or you be okay.
Now
All
you
my
can get
life
rid of
I've
the
had
cheap
to fight.
alcohol.
Well, listen, it's right here. Don't say nothing. You better calm down. We on air. Listen.
Oh gosh.
We are on the hot topics now. First of all, I'm gonna start off with this one right here. Which Super Bowl commercial caught your attention the most? Really, like for me, I'm gonna say the one that caught my attention was the one with the whole. It wasn't Boy Meets World. It was Wayne's World. The Wayne's
Yes.
World one caught my attention. I felt like that was like a commercial.
Party on, Jordan.
I say it every year. I'm like, there's always that one Super Bowl commercial that you just scratch your head on, and you're like, this commercial is on drugs, and that was it. For me,
I thought it was funny. To be honest with you, a lot of the Super Bowl commercials this year, I was not overly impressed with any of them.
Yeah.
One that did stick out to me, and I think it's just because Shaggy was popular when I was in high school, was the Cheetos commercial.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I thought that was really funny with Ashton Kutcher and his wife, and then she's like, "It wasn't me," and she had all the orange on her finger. I thought that one was actually funny. Yeah, I really did laugh at that one. That was one of the funnier ones to me. Just because that song again was so huge, and then for them to incorporate it into a commercial, I thought was pretty funny.
JC?
I should have just jumped her because that was mine. But what was another good one?
There weren't many.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Drake one was kind of funny when he comes in as a stand-in for Jake from State
I
Farm.
thought it was a basketball team.
It was the State Farm one. I know what you're talking about. That one was all right. Like I said, this year was not like normally. I'm laughing every commercial break, but this year there was not. And I don't know if it's just has to do with maybe the climate that we're in, that they wanted to take a more serious tone with commercials. Because there were a lot of really good commercials with good messages. But there weren't a whole lot of funny ones this year. But the Cheetos one has my vote. I thought that was pretty funny.
I like the one with Tom and Gronk, the cell phone commercial.
Oh, that one was funny too. That one was funny. And they did it again with where the cell phone service breaks up. He's on a FaceTime call and That one was funny, and they also did it with Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani, kind of how they started dating. Those were pretty funny too. I did forget about those. Those were actually pretty funny as well. I laughed at those too.
I like
they
the
show
one.
the Brady and Gronk Super Bowl commercial? Because I saw on T-Mobile's Twitter page, they were like, this isn't gonna be seen on TV.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah, they did. They showed it. They showed that one, and they showed the Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani one.
I thought the one that was real funny was the team that showed up in the Super Bowl and didn't have 3 offensive linemen and had to use 3 backups. That commercial was hilarious.
I don't remember that one.
Or maybe the one where the refs played the best defense of all.
Yeah. Love that one too. That was hilarious.
Wow.
Phantom PI calls, that was my favorite too. Yeah.
Yes. Phantom PI calls are great.
Wow.
Yeah, those were hilarious.
One more thing before we jump into I guess the recruit. But no, before we jump into the goalies struggling this season, I gotta say, Allison, you're in Tallahassee. You saw FAMU's recruiting class firsthand.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was electric, and I'll tell you this: every single high school coach that I talked to this year was very frustrating for them because there are a lot of talented kids that are not getting scholarship offers just because everybody has that extra year. So scholarship offers are already limited as it is, and the money's just not there. So there were a lot of talented kids that couldn't find a home. I talked to several high school coaches on signing day that were like, I have coaches every day calling saying, hey, I love so-and-so. I have nowhere to put him because they just don't have room on the roster. So in that aspect, it was kind of a weird signing day, but it was also really good for schools like FAMU, and they took advantage of it, that transfer portal. These kids being able to transfer wherever they want, they took advantage of it. FAMU got a lot of really good transfers. They filled, I know the spots they needed to fill were spots on the offensive line and the defensive line, and they did that, and they did that with good kids. One of the linemen they picked up, the offensive lineman, is from Florida State. He wasn't playing at FSU, wanted to play, going over to FAMU. So huge get for them on both sides of the ball on the line, and also a lot of really talented high school kids. Got a kid from Hamilton County that's a huge lineman. He's going there. The twins from Wakulla High School right outside of Tallahassee. So even locally, he picked up a lot of really talented guys. DeAndre Francis, who is a running back at Rickards High School, he's going to be a preferred walk-on at FAMU.
Really?
Stellar state championship game for Rickards. So he's going to be at FAMU too. So Willie got a lot of local kids. But he got, I think it was 19 players that he picked up, transfers and new signees out of high school. So awesome class. I know he's really excited about it. I mean, they capitalized again on getting those talented high school kids and getting some kids in the transfer portal, because at the end of the day, we were talking about experience earlier. You can't beat it. You have a 4 or 5 star kid in high school that's never played a down of college football. It might stink to pass up on him, but who are you going to take? You're going to take that transfer kid that's played in those big games. And every school, Florida State did it, FAMU did it, even Valdosta State at the Division II level, they did it as well. But FAMU got a lot of really, really talented kids, and I'm really excited about this class for them.
How's the transfer portal work?
What do you mean? I mean, it's open this year. Kids can go anywhere. Because of COVID, that they opened it up. There's no penalties. It's open season. That's why a lot of the high school kids are having a hard time finding somewhere to go, is because the transfer portal is so wide open that, like, I'll use Florida State for an example, because they filled, they got 9 guys from the transfer portal. So that's 9 high school kids that aren't getting scholarships from Florida State that would have normally. They instead went with those transfers. So that's why a lot of talented high school kids are not having anywhere to go. And it stinks. It's really sad for them, because rosters are already tight because everybody has that extra year of eligibility because of COVID. But because the transfer portal is open, those colleges are taking full advantage of it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's a good thing, but it's also a really kind of crappy thing for these high school kids that might be overlooked.
That's one thing I do credit Willie Simmons with. It's growing up and going to those games. You look at the program, half that roster was always from either North Florida or from South Florida, and for a while, I guess you could say FAMU had lost those areas, and now they're slowly.
They got them back.
Yeah, they're winning
back.
So I'm just like, look, as long as you can secure Dade, Broward, and then up there in Leon County and the surrounding counties, and even also to come. I can't say come here because I'm in Volusia County, but if you go and secure pieces of Hillsborough County and Pinellas and Polk like they did, that's fantastic. You got 3 powerful parts of the state right there that you just got guys out of. So
absolutely,
a huge bonus.
And FAMU too. I mean, just given there's so much hype around this season. Again, I know we talked about it before, but the move to the SWAC, coming off the year that they had, not getting the chance to play this fall when they really wanted to. The hype is very big, and especially with, there were those rumors about Willie possibly going to South Carolina to be the running backs coach, and he said, nah, no way, like I'm staying here, I want to be here. So that kind of reaffirms that he is in this for the long haul. He is going to get this program, back on top, and winning huge games is a huge priority for him. I know that they want to put a lot of money into the program, so I'm really excited about the future of FAMU.
Question.
Do you think Deion Sanders coming to Jackson State has helped the other HBCUs?
I do. And if anything, I think it's put more attention on HBCU football because you have those big time coaches and guys that want to stay coaching at the HBCU level when they could get a Division I, like another job at the FBS level. I think that says a lot, and it only give positive attention to HBCUs across the country. So yeah, without a doubt, 100%.
I just want to say it's really good to see the electricity stemming from FAMU, because we had AD Gaucher over here doing an interview, and he was electric. He was, talking. He was ready for the season, and you love to see the signing class that Coach Simmons has been able to put together, and it's really nice to see all the talk, and it's starting to build, and it's getting up there compared to, and I don't want to really say this with like hate or anything, but the previous regime. So we'll just put it like that. So it's very interesting to see, and it's a really wonderful thing.
Well, it's amazing the turnaround too. When I got to Tallahassee in June of 2015. So we're talking about FAMU was on probation. They had 1-win seasons. It's completely turned around. I mean, they were Black College Football National Champions, and we're talking about in a 5-year span. There's been money has gone. That whole field house is renovated, new weight room, new locker room. The interest is there. I think the interest is only going to get higher. And again, the kids, you talk to the area kids that I talk to all the time, and they want to go to FAMU now. It's not like, oh, you're going to FAMU. It's like, oh, you're going to FAMU. So the interest, and again, the SWAC, everything, it's perfect. It's the perfect time to be playing HBCU football at FAMU right now.
All right, we got to stop you right there. Thanks for joining us on the show. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify.
Yeah, follow us on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. All those are at Tony Talk. And then also too on Instagram, it's at Throw Flags. And then Allison, where can they find you at?
Allison, ALISON, Posey, POSEY 14, Instagram and Twitter. Same what name?
Make sure you follow the right Allison. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, Allison. You are awesome.
I'll have a good one, America.